I heard recently via a video by Mike WU2D, otherwise known as Microwave 1 on YouTube, that Chuck Kitchin N1TEV had passed away. Now, Chuck was a very prolific builder and writer of very simple homebrew radio equipment. His material often appeared in QST and to some extent QEX. Chuck was particularly active in building and describing regenerative receivers for HF and super regens on VHF. Anyway, Mike had a demonstration of a Kitchin regen receiver. You can still find the details of it in QEX on the ARRL website. And I had a look in bits that I'd built, and I realised that I also had one. This was built, I think I built it around 1997, 98, and I have actually done a video on it, but it was quite a few years ago. It was during the day when there weren't many signals on, so I thought that in memory of Chuck, I would do another video demonstrating this receiver. It's not quite the same as the one described in QEX. I think I used a JFET RF preamp rather than a 2N2222, but I think the rest of it is pretty similar. The other thing I did though was I added a converter. So my receiver covers I think 3.5 to 10 megahertz on one band. But I added a converter with a 10 megahertz crystal, and so that allows coverage of 13.5 up to 20 megahertz. So there's a bit of a gap around 11, 12 megahertz, but otherwise I can cover higher HF frequencies, including the 20 meter amateur band. So without going into it too much, I'll give you a demonstration of this receiver. And just bear in mind, it's only, I think, 3 stages: RF preamp, which is a FET, regenerative detector, another JFET, and an LM386 audio amplifier. So not very many parts. There's a few more controls on here. I'll just go through them. The main tuning here, fine tuning, which is really important for SSB. Here's the on-off switch. Here is what I'm using as an RF gain control, but it's actually a rotary switch, and there's just series capacitors that I switch in. A lower value of capacitance means higher attenuation. Down here, just a 2-position switch for the converter. Here's the regen control. Nice and smooth regen. And here's the volume control. This is the peak control that is just for the front end converter. It's not used on the lower spectrum, 3.5 to 10 megahertz. So I will try tuning for some signals to give you an idea of what this sounds like. On this switch here, it just goes to a meter, just gives you an idea of how the battery is. As for the time, it's after dark, just before 7 PM. And I'm not using a very good antenna. It is an outside antenna, but parts of it have fallen down. So yeah, it's only about 10 or so meters of wire. Anyway, we're down just above 3 megahertz. Now in the 80 meter band. Here's the regen control. Here's the VKE2 beacon up on 3699. It's about 1,000 kilometres from here. We'll keep tuning up. Ideally with the regen it is a two-handed affair. You are adjusting the tuning and then with the regen control just to keep the oscillator going. In this case we are tuning upwards in frequency, so you'll generally be backing the oscillator or the feedback off as you go higher in frequency. Right now we're at about 4 megahertz. You're hearing some weak carriers. So we're probably in the broadcast band now. We're approaching 5 megahertz. We know this frequency.
Easy listening music on VL8K. Domestic shortwave broadcasting Australia on 4865 and 2310 kilohertz.
Well, that was very good. They obliged with an ID just as we were tuning across. Anyway, that's shortwave Australia. Not too far from here, maybe about 100, 150 kilometres. I think it's about 100 watts, maybe a bit more. Got the receiver oscillating. And it is staying 0 beat. Just back off the regen. We'll keep tuning. Back off the regen. Don't think it's WWV. We're very close to 5 megahertz anyway. I think signals will improve as we go up in frequency, because the antenna isn't so good down at these lower frequencies. I'm getting towards 6 megahertz now. quite close to 7 megahertz, I think. This is in the 40 meter amateur band.
Southeast of Adelaide, QSL. Yeah, thanks, Sue. I'm very lucky here. I'm in a noise-free environment. I've got 3 towers here, and I've had some excellent help from some absolute champion amateurs to help me get my station up and going. So, well, when I say my station, what is an amateur as well? Thanks very much, Ewan. 73. 73 QRZ, Victor Kilo, 80, Mike Alpha November for the 80th anniversary of Operation Manna, calling CQ.
This is the RF.
Just stand by to Victor Kilo, it was the Zulu Lemurs. Oh, now a static crash just got you to Zulu Lima 2 Golf Papa. What was the last letter? Oh, very good, Dave. No, beautiful signal from you. And I know New Zealand pretty well. I spent about 6 weeks there quite a few years ago now, Dave, but saw a fair part of your country. A spectacular place over there. You're also 59, Dave. 5 and 9. My name is Paul, QSL. These days not fun, gentlemen.
No. No. If I ever hold a barbecue, you bring your own gear.
I won't be at the smoker out and, cook up a little bit of meat, but when the meat prices at the butcher is inflated, it's unreal.
Honestly, look at that cheap stuff, you don't even know what you're getting. So most people
Most people buy the cheapest cut they can, and no one, you know. $27 for a Scotch fillet. $25 for chop. Wow. I'll burn that book. I'll be back in a minute. I'm getting a cup of tea, VK2 KPP. I'll leave you on a final thought. Remember when we thought we were... Thank you very much. Now, just double checking, my logging software is showing the name as Simon. Is that right?
You're 100% right there, Paul, but you...
Very good, mate. No, I just wanted to double check because QOZ is not always entirely accurate. Yeah, you're 10 over, Simon. 5 and 9 plus 10 do. Oh yeah, medium. Okay, yeah.
Not as much as Lockwood does with it on fast, so I got it back on fast. It's when I normally use it when I'm doing digital, so...
Thank you. QRZ, Victor Kilo, 80, Mike Alpha November. VK4 Whiskey, X-Ray Whiskey, I think it is. Is that you, Sam? Amongst all the others, 59 plus QSL.
There, we've got some FT8.
I'll send you the video if you want it. So look me up, ZL1LDP, and I'll send you the video. 73 is all good.
ZL1LDT, correct?
Lima Delta Papa. Lima. I didn't quite get all that call sign. Could you come back with that? But I did hear you in the while ago.
Yeah, okay, it's Kilo Papa Papa. VK2 Kilo Papa Papa. Stuff on it being your father's transceiver as well and being able to pass it down. 59 QSL.
got from you. Like to call it, my parents would have been the recipients of those airdrops during the late part of the Second World War, when I would have been a 3-year-old baby, and that food would have helped kept me alive. Anyway, a nice thing.
You're doing a great job, Paul, and
Thanks for all your efforts. This is VK5 Foxtrot Alpha, clear.
very interesting story, very good. Rex, yes, the Americans ran a similar operation called Operation Chowhand, but Operation Manna was launched, I think at the end of April, by the International Bomber Command. And there were a substantial number of Australians that took part in those missions as well. Very, very low flying drops when they dropped off this humanitarian supply. It was actually the first time in the world's history that they'd actually used air power in a humanitarian disaster. Thanks very much. All the best. 73.
73, Paul.
QRZ, please. Victor Kilo 80, Mike Alpha November. VK5 November Fox.
Right away. Delta India Yankee Mobile, over to you. Cut off t-shirts and your short shorts.
Involved in the same thing. I don't, well, maybe it's not in the prison or anything, but they're involved in...
Now we're back on 7 megahertz.
...election organizing there where he lives, and this here, the next big thing is not... Next in November we'll have our midterm elections, and that'll be a big deal there. Probably be a big foot fest to turn over, as it were, what we hope it on. So anyway, so so you're KU, whether he's actually on air or what his situation is. Over to you, Adam. So what we'll do is we'll go to Ross, VK7ALH, back to you. The transmission. So anyway, I hope you're well there, Jim. It's been a while since the last catch up. I've been very busy this way, and not a lot of time for radio at this point there, Jim. But anyway, it certainly is nice to be hearing you guys with such fantastic conditions there this evening. WB2 REM from VK3 USA. You're 5 to 10 over there, Jim.
VK3YE. Copy, November 4, Radio Whiskey Germany. November 4, Radio Whiskey Germany. Your 5 by plus 10. 5 by plus 10. After the handle, Deck Delta India China Kilo. Over.
Yeah, QSL there, Dick. November 4, Romeo Whiskey Golf from VK3 United Sugar Alpha 59 plus 10 to you as well there, Dick. Beautiful trip into Melbourne there this evening, and you got the name correct as Andrew. Over.
Alright, thank you very much, my friend. Take care. 73 to be well, be safe. VK3 USA. This WD2 IM to take it at 4 RWG.
And into Melbourne, over. Yeah, QSL there, Nancy. Very good evening. 5757 there, Nancy, over. Okay, thanks there, Nancy. Thanks for the nice audio reports there as well. Always got very good reports on this rig, so I appreciate that. 73 is there, Nancy, and back to you there, Jim.
Minnesota, 5 plus 15 on peak, and I just wanted to say good evening to you. My brother is heading to Melbourne next month, I think it is, next month for a tour of your continent, over.
Oh, very good, yeah, well thanks for the 59 plus, by the way, your 59 solid there this way. Well, he's going to be in for a fantastic trip there as well, so...
Hey, it's going wrong to you now. I was coming home a week ago, last Thursday, a week ago.
Any guard on it anymore, or no, that's not bad. And the hedge stripper.
Luckily, it's on when I got approached, they had the quorum of cars pulled over, and so I went through. I said, oh, thank God for that. I'll get home soon, and I can get to the toilet.
Thank you very much, and maybe you'll tell me about it there when I jump on the net again there one day. Very quickly, let me know whether he enjoyed it or not. So thanks for the shout there, Art, and you have yourself a fantastic day. K6 AFW from VK3 USA, over.
Okay, we're now shooting past the 7 meg. 8 amateur band. around 8 megahertz now.
ACU 100 hours UTC on the 24th, wind speed 34 to 48 chair. 2 miles off, in a northwestern semicircle from 0300 hours UTC on the 25th, very rough to high sea,
Weather forecast.
rising to very high sea with storm force wind, moderate to heavy swell. The next alert will be issued by 1300 hours UTC, the 24th of April
Probably VMC
2025.
Charleville.
High-speed weather warning for net area 10, issued by the Australian Government Bureau of Meteorology at 0626 hours. 600 hours UTC. With a low 977 hectopascal, forecast around 62 south 100 hours UTC on the 24th, low,
There's one here. This might be the one in WA, Western Australia. Not quite as strong.
Around 1.5 south 114.5 east at 0600 hours UTC.
They're around 9.5 megahertz, maybe a bit lower. And we're now in the 31 metre broadcast band. And here, well, we know we're on 10 megahertz exactly. So that's 3 to 10 megahertz, more or less. We'll just see if there's more down on 3.5. It's a bit later in the evening.
Deliver a few more rounds as opposed to see what everyone thinks. So here you go. Over to you again, Rob. And I think the
Bit of activity there.
Lastly, J7, VK7. Yeah, one of the main ingredients was right. What was tweed? Good. Tell them, mate, or spinach, peas, potatoes. Heard you of Jim, and I was on the Swan on the Bard net, but I thought I'd run this other radio, the modern one, on this net. A bit of noise up this end of town, I don't know why. Thanks, Peter. That would be me, Jordan, VK3YE. I'm checking for any other checkings for the quiz tonight. We have five so far. We've got Jim, VK3UFO, VK3KG Craig, VK3VF Frank, VK3VTV Kieran, VK7ALB Peter. Anybody else like to join the quiz tonight? VK3 Victor India November. G'day, Redbag. Hi, how's it going? Good. Yeah,
So that's our look at our first band from 3.5 to 10 megahertz. A bit later on we'll flick the converter switch and see what we can hear on the higher HF portion. And I forgot the circuit of the converter, but it's probably 2 or 3 transistors. Just gives you that extra coverage, which is sometimes handy. We're now at about 13.5 megahertz, which is broadcast band, 22 meters. We've got a weather station there.
并不担心说 I'm not worried that there will be obstacles in keeping that focus. Instead, people watch or ask questions out of doubt or curiosity, which is exactly the significance of film festivals. It's not about simply absorbing or even misunderstanding, and I think this is also part of the cultural exchange in film.
How do foreign filmmakers view the Chinese film market?
中国的市场首先对于 Chinese film market is huge. I believe that for many directors from small countries, the highest box office markets for their films may not be their own countries, but definitely China. There are some such differences.
破坏宪法赋予国会的权利，擅自实施关税政策，要求法院宣布特朗普关税政策非法，并阻止其实施。中国之声国际新闻。
交易贸易、行为管理、管理、高频交易管理、互股通管理。
South Americas in 4 and 5R QTC on 11,760 kHz and 15,180 kHz and between 10 and 11R QTC on 11,703 kHz and 15,180 kHz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.
This edition of the Briefing. Breaking news today. China and Kenya reached an agreement to elevate bilateral ties. And China's successful Shenzhou 20 mission to Tiangong Space Station. On behalf of the staff, Mr. Shane Bigham and the Chinese staff are hoping you'll join us for the next edition of the Beijing Hour and open a window to the world together.
Beijing Hour at precisely 6 p.m. We meet you on contrast and
传出爆炸声。
其他国际消息。
This switch is a calibrator. I think it's 2 megahertz crystal. And we've there's a CW station there. It will be on 14 megahertz, very close to the bottom of the band, because we're actually using the crystal calibrator as a BFO. Anyway, we'll just switch it off. And there's the station there. With regen receivers, it's sometimes better to have a BFO operating separately and the regen just before the point of oscillation. Anyway, we're not doing it here. Got the set partly oscillating. We've got some FT8 there. There's CW there. More CW. FT8. We're going from low through to 0 beat, through to high, as its upper sideband can see that we are receiving stations on FT8. And it's a lot of them. With FT8 it is quite sensitive to frequency pulling, so I can just turn back the RF gain. That might help even more. This is on 14 megahertz FT8. A lot of signals coming through. This is CW segment again. Not hearing a lot of SSB, so we'll keep tuning up. We're now on WWV 15 megahertz. Let's do some more tuning around.
방책의 정유석이 서로 다른 방향에서 덩굴 바닥에
This is the 19-meter broadcast band. Now we're a bit higher up, around 16 megahertz. Well, there's some amateur activity.
So I find that somebody gave me the old QSL from the previous holder of the call sign. So yes, this is an old DK2CPC W9WJ.
W9WJ. Good signal there. What frequency are we at? We are at just above 18 megahertz, so that's actually 17 meters coming through. Here's some FT8.
WD4NGB, Whiskey Delta 4, November Golf Bravo, calling CQDX, CQDX, WD4NGB, calling CQDX and standing by. Delta 4, November Golf Bravo, calling CQDX, calling CQDX and standing by. Beaming a long path over the South Pole,
over the South Pole. Beaming long path over the South Pole. Whiskey Delta 4, November Golf Bravo. VK2, stand by. I'll bring the antenna up to the Pacific. Over. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Good morning from Tennessee. All right, very good. Let me get the information here. I'm not fully awake yet. I was operating partially asleep, I guess. But anyway, it's a 6:15 here in the morning. So just poking around, trying to see where if the band is open a little bit. I had one JA in there on short path, but just could not make out the full call. And that's about it. And now yours. So I got, your name is Ken, and it's Victor Kilowatt 2, over. Oh, okay, Ian. Okay, sorry. Yeah, still getting a little bit of echo in here this morning, which usually indicates a little bit of multipath, but anyway, your signal's up there very good. You're 5.9 now, over. And I normally would be still asleep or just getting up on my first cup of coffee, but my wife and I both woke up early this morning, drank one cup of coffee, and watched TV for a few minutes, and then decided to come in here to see what's going on the radio. So I'll probably go back to sleep here a little bit. But anyway, yeah, you're coming through just fine, Ian, and looks like we had a QSO a couple years ago on 15 meters, over.
We'll catch up with you again soon, maybe on another band. Looks like we're going to talk on 40, maybe some of the others before long. 50 Kilo 2 Charlie, Papa Charlie from November 4, Whiskey Foxtrot uniform. Cheers, mate.
That's probably where I should be now. It looks like we have a decent day here. I looked at the radar as I was watching TV. You may be helping his wife with something. You may be helping Cora with something. Okay, anybody else out there from home? Yeah, Echo Tango, go ahead. Yeah, getting up around 32 degrees C next week, so I guess
well, that was 18 megahertz. Excellent reception there. If we go up a bit.
И пустотелая лапша. В Китае ее едят с разными соусами и бульонами.
По-моему, уже пора открывать
языке и китайской культуре Здравствуй, Китай.
这个低劣的这样的一个产能继续保留下去。当仅退款政策被取消，公众和网友就是自己是。
Is highly diverse, but and involved very interests.
Thank you very much for joining us. Sultan Ali, a China observer and retired Air Force officer based in Pakistan. We'll be back. Today, I'm Dave in Beijing. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has voiced the support Iran.
提供支持，我们在这个轩辕四岁之前都在。然后呢，然后或者是我的讲座，其实我们有政策。
And opposes any form of resorting to force and any illegal unilateral sanctions. The senior Chinese diplomat has also added that China appreciates Iran's commitment not to develop nuclear weapons. And for his part, Iraq chief thanked China for China's role.
Do you want to get the most from your portable QRP operating? Good Antennas is a great place to start. Find out how I succeed with my 2 books, Hand-Carried QRP Antennas and More Hand-Carried QRP Antennas. They're big sellers with favourable reviews from all around the world. To learn more, visit VK3YE.com or search the titles on Amazon.